going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we've got the ultimate 3-5-2, a tactic that scores 4.8 goals a game and nearly picked up a 100% win rate. It is by far one of the most attacking free backs, but trust me, it's a ton of fun. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, if you've got any tactic suggestions, you know where to go, into the comments below. Let's get into it. So the first test is technically to be the real powerhouse of the video. They are the best team in the league, and I thought let's push this tactic to the max and see what we can do. Now I will say, despite winning the Czech FA Cup 4-0, which is, you know, not the biggest trophy, but I am going to claim it, the Conference League we are also going to beat Besiktas, another team we tested with, 3-1. This team in Slavia Prague really took to this very, very well. Now I know they're a dominant team, but you can't argue an overachievement in that Conference League. We go invincible, 33 wins, 2 draws, and we got the best out of a guy called Daniel Fila, who I've never used before, but he is looking pretty remarkable. Alko Christoph, very, very good player, 40 assists. Now, I will say, in this league, you are scoring a lot of goals. You're having a lot of fun, but still, the stats are absolutely incredible. Actually looking at the bigger picture, the actual team stats, we can see 168 goals, close to 1,000 shots, the most dribbles, the fewest shots against. Defensively, we're absolutely incredible. Now, we are the best team in the league, but Sparta Prague aren't a joke of a team. They are a good team, and they are nowhere near us. In fact, possession-wise, we are nearly rank 1. This tactic genuinely did do it all, and this was the season we scored 4.8 goals. We had over 26 shots, a good pass completion, the tackle win ratio is pretty decent, and I mean, yeah, we also look and we lifted all of this. I mean, it's remarkable. The only real game in the league that was competition in Sparta Prague, I'm going to be honest with you, they offered nothing. I mean, we were such a good team against them. We actually scored 4 goals in the first half. And again, this is a tactic that is not shy to go direct. You'll see it a lot. Balls getting pumped into the box, as you see again. Sometimes in the air, sometimes they are going to be low. It is actually told to be low crosses, but sometimes we do go in the air as well. Now, one thing that I noticed about this tactic individually compared to the rest of them is the fact of the variance. The variants do really mean a lot with this tactic, because when I went more attacking, we were a lot more attacking, and defensively we were literally like a brick wall. So I will also say, make sure you are getting all 3 of these variants, because we do dip in and out of holiday to switch variant and test what happens, and the results are very, very different. So make sure you are picking up all 3, because it suits the team you're playing with. I'm then going to go over and test with Brighton, probably the hardest team in the video, and once again we have overachieved. Now I will say it is not 100% pretty and flawless, because we do draw 3, we lose 3, we go out in the quarterfinals against Fulham in the FA Cup. We do win the Carabao Cup 2-1 over Villa, to be fair, and the Premier League, of course, is the main achievement. Now, in terms of players, João Pedro done so well, Matoma done so well as well, and also Adam Webster, the best pass completion. Now, looking at the actual team stats, we can go and see 121 goals in our favour, the most shots defensively, very, very good, but where we really stood out was the dribbles being made. The players aren't afraid to be very individually sort of attack and minded in this tactic, and they work really, really well. Possession-wise, we're not going to be on there. That's not the focus of today at all. The focus is to counter-attack and run at everybody with our aggressive free-back system, and it works very, very well. 3.18 goals a game, 0.68 conceded, a great pass completion, and a tidy amount of shots per game as well. I look back at this season and I think, do you know what? It's absolutely incredible. The league table, again, 3 draws, 3 losses. It's absolutely remarkable. What a season out of a team like Brighton, and I'm saying that with respect. They're a great team, but they shouldn't be winning the Prem. Even we're doing this against top Premier League teams. This is the game against Newcastle at home towards the end of the season. We're not slowing down. A great cross there from Van Heck and a great finish from João Pedro. But if you just look, I'll keep saying it, the amount of attack and options are absolutely unreal. You combine this with my set pieces, the training, you can dominate your season very, very easy. And I mean, one of the things that I absolutely love about the free backs is that it also gets you playing away from that usual 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. It's quite nice to change things up, and out of the free backs, the 3-5-2 in my opinion is the most consistent, because it's incredibly well balanced, and yeah, this game was all one way. Lastly, we are going to go over and test with one of the better teams in Turkey. Of course, not necessarily guaranteed to be the best. Fenerbahce and Galatasaray also are in that mix. The Turkish Cup, we are going to go and beat, do you know what? It's a bit of an easy game. I'll be honest, a 3-0 win. I'm not going to over-exaggerate things. We obviously were runners-up in that Conference League as well. It is, however, an invincible season. And I can tell you now, players that stood out to me were Immobile, Rafa, them sort of players that were playing up front. The two players up front are usually going to be your standout players along with the wing-backs. They're the big reason why you're going to have so much success. I mean, stat-wise, it goes to show how different leagues differ. 59%, which is quite good to be fair, especially when you're scoring 70 more goals than second place. Most shots at 15 shy of 1,000, and defensively we were absolutely sound. A good amount of dribbles, fewer shots against as well, and the data hub 4.5, so that is now 2 teams we have reached over 4 goals a game with, over 4.5 goals a game with, loads of shots, a good pass completion. This tactic is perfect for anybody that is just wanting to play very aggressive free-back football, who's not too fussed on possession, but likes goals, likes wins, and likes trophies. Isn't that everyone? We really did do a great job in this Turkish final. I mean, genuinely, not just from the set pieces, but also from open play. We were so dominant. And if I just pause it here, you can see the amount of passing options that are always on. You've got a cutback option, a further cutback option, and you've got 4 players in the box with a player lurking on the edge there. Now, the options are endless. He eventually gets it back stick. He cuts it back, and to be honest, there's too many players for it not to go in. There's so many options. Is what really I enjoy about playing a free back. When you are on the attack, once again, look at the options. So many options in the box. You can really do what you want, and the goals are being scored by everyone. Now over to your favourite part of the video, the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying back home, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, do come over to that second channel, because we have got endless rebuilds there where we use all of these tactics. And if you are a Patreon member, you not only get all the tactics now, you get all of these rebuild files. So make sure you are taking advantage, because we've got so many perks that are new, which a lot of people don't even know about. So make sure you are going over and checking that out. We are going to go in and talk right away. We're going to go in with the clean slate, and of course we are going to load in. You can't actually load in a 3-5-2, so we'll load in this and we'll go from there. It basically is a 3-5-2. But then the first change you want to do is instantly change this from balanced all the way up to attacking. That is going to be the real core change, and we're then going to go over and talk about some of these player roles. Now, you can actually argue this is also a 5-3-2. I always look at it as a 3-5-2 because you got your 3, you got your 5, you got your 2, but really you can say what you want. It's the same shape really. Now, in terms of the goalkeeper, we are going to go with the sweeper keeper, who is simply going to be set to support, so nice and basic. Again, we're already playing quite an aggressive way of playing football. I don't really want Manuel Neuer coming out and also being at the halfway line, so just a supportive role, nothing too crazy. Where we are going to get a little bit confident is the 3 roles you're going to see today is 3 ball playing defenders, and this is something which actually these instructions I've used a lot over on the FM Scout channel, and do not be put off by it, because confidence is key in football, and we're going to operate with 3 ball playing defenders, and all of them are going to be set to dribble more. Now, this does change when you play as a smaller team, something like that, because your players might not be as confident, but if you're playing as any team in sort of the top 6, you can get away with playing like this. And in this match engine, it's absolutely broken. You want your centre backs to be aggressive, to be confident, to be able to dribble with the ball, and at the end of the day, we've got 3 centre backs. Not all of them will be dribbling at the same time, so 2 can cover. We've got a player in front of them that also is going to protect. It seems a lot more aggressive than what it actually is, but it does have the real big difference. Now, going over to the wing backs, the real big part of any 3-back system, unless you're playing like a 3-4-3 where you've also got wingers, is the wing backs are essentially your wingers, and they need to be attacking. In my opinion, to get the best out of a 3-back, you need to have attacking wing backs. Now, in terms of the instructions, we are going to go over and add some custom ones. We are going to add on take more risks. We are also going to add on cross more, set to stay wider, alongside of tackle harder. Now, again, the real key instruction here, probably 2, is going to be the crossing more and staying wider. Without these 2 instructions, they don't stay wide and they don't cross enough, in my opinion. I want my wing backs to be really aggressive, be able to provide the width and get forward, take passing risks, and also get the ball in quite a fair bit, which is why our forward players were scoring goals for absolute fun. So for the left back as well, take more risks, cross more, stay wide, and also set to tackle harder. Now, this basically means the wing-backs in your team are going to be very, very aggressive and hopefully provide you with tons of assists. Now, going over to the midfield, the first player which I would never change for any other role in this variation is the DM. He is going to come in on support, and I don't want him roaming about, so we are going to tell him to hold the position and also be quite aggressive in the tackles that he does decide to make. We then go up to one of my favourite roles in any three-back system, and one role that I would say is pretty influential is going to be the box-to-box, because he defends and he also goes forwards. Now, for us in this system, he is going to play on the right-hand side, and he is going to have a couple of instructions. We are going to have take more risks, get forwards, also dribble more, roam, and of course move into the channels as well. Now with this, you can have this, you don't have to have this. I also went with tackle harder. This comes down to whether you want to be aggressive in midfield as well. Some people love it. Technically it is the meta because you do win the ball back a lot, but also you do pick up the occasional booking. So that is completely up to you. I'm going to let you make the decision. For me, I would recommend it because the occasional booking is a small price to pay for a very, very aggressive and a midfield that wins the ball back very quickly. So I'm happy for the odd booking and prepared for the odd booking. If you are, have it on as well. We're then going to operate with a central midfield player set to attack, opposed to a Mazzala, for example. We're going to have him on take more risks, also set to dribble more. We're also going to have roam, move into the channels, and tackle harder. These two midfield players are incredibly aggressive, and this three-back system, especially the default version, is there to... You've got to remember the mindset that you are going to concede the odd goal, but you're going to outscore everybody. Famous words of Johan Cruyff as well. That's a play style which a lot of managers still to this day will happily take. Now, if it's not for you, this is where you need to use a defensive version, because you're not going to concede as many goals, you're not going to score as many, but defensively, you are going to be absolutely rock solid. Going up to the front two, we are going to operate with a DLF on support, and he is simply going to be set to tackle harder, and we are then going to go with the advanced forward on the left, who is also going to be set to tackle harder, which basically gives you the perfect mix of a link-up striker and a finisher. Now, a little fun fact with Besiktas, Rafa, who was our top goal scorer, actually played in the DLF role. So not always does the advanced forward score more goals, so it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, your DLF is going to be a bit of a backup striker. Make sure you've got two good strikers and you'll be absolutely golden. Now over to the team instructions, we are going to operate on the attacking mentality, of course, on that clean slate. I do want to quickly say, if you are interested in getting all of these wonderful perks, that does include all of these tactics today. You get them on mobile, you get them on console, you get all of my rebuild files, all of my tactics, my set pieces, my training, loads of stuff from this year. You actually get a piece of exclusive content every single day as a Patreon member. It works out over the month at around about 16 pence per piece of content, so I keep the prices incredibly low so you can have fun with tons of rebuilds, try wacky tactics, and just enjoy Football Manager. So I do appreciate anybody that goes over there. It means the absolute world. Now, to make this tactic, all you want to do is have overlap left, overlap right, pass into the space. We're not too focused today on playing out from the back because I want to get the ball moving quite quickly. The final third is going to be low crosses. We are going to go with shorter, with the tempo being set all the way to higher, and run at defense is going to be the key choice of today's video. Going over to the in transition, we are going to look to counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and simply take short goal kicks. Again, this is going to be an option where you can customize this a little bit. So for example, if you want to go more direct, that would also work. But for me, I quite like the idea of it going to the centre backs or the flanks, or of course, one of the players in the midfield. Out of possession, we are going to look to deploy the meta, much higher defensive line, the high press, a maxed out trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and simply set to step up more. Now, what I will say is this tactic, of course, also does come with the attacking version. This is purely designed for if you're in a game and you're trying to chase even more. Say you go a goal down or you want to have some fun. This tactic will score more goals, but of course, more goals, more attacking, more risk. So you might concede the odd, the odd goal here or there, but this tactic will guarantee a bag full of goals. Now, the goalkeeper does remain the same. The back line also does remain the same. The wing back on the right, Also on the left do remain the same. The DLP is a big change from the DM, just someone who's going to play make, funny enough, a lot more, simply on tackle harder. The Mazzala comes in, a big change there on tackle harder. The CM does remain exactly the same as the previous one, and we are going to double up on 2 advanced forwards, both on tackle harder. Now again, this tactic I would say I wouldn't even play a whole season with, but it is there for the last 10-15 minutes to switch to chase a game. Say even if you're drawing, you want to push for a win, this tactic will give you a lot more going forwards. Now the mentality does remain the same, it still is attacking, this remains the same. The big change in it is the double up. Run at defense and also be more expressive are going to be selected. The passing goes down by 1, the tempo goes all the way up to higher. The final third, low crosses, pass into space, overlap left and also overlap right are going to be selected. In transition, we're going to counter press, counter, distribute quickly and simply take short goal kicks. So what you're used to seeing really, and out of possession, we can't go too far away from the meta attacking, much higher defensive line, the high press, max this out, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in and also hit step up more. Now for those of you that are trying to defend a game out with, I've also got you covered. We have got a much more sensible and reserved 3-5-2 which you could also play an entire season with a team such as a Southampton, a team such as a bit of a relegation team. You can play a whole season and still have fun playing a free back. Now the goalkeeper does remain the same, the ball players also remain the same, which you might think is a bit nutty. Now I said previously in the video this does change, and it does change if you're playing as a Vanarama team where your players simply can't play it with the ball, but Southampton have got some good ball playing centre backs, and therefore having this risk I still allow in the system. If you are playing as a Vanarama team, a real low league team where there's no quality at the back, you obviously will not have dribble more. So it comes down to what team you're playing with. The wing backs, both on defend, both on tackle harder. The DM on defend, on tackle harder. The box to box on support, on tackle harder. The CM on support, on tackle harder. Moving channels, roam from position. The DLF, tackle harder. The advanced sword, tackle harder, tackle harder, tackle harder, tackle harder. That's pretty much the whole what this game has been. Every FM has a meta, the much higher line, tackle harder. It's always the same. I am praying to anyone at SI that is making this game. Hopefully that's not the case next year, because it does limit when you got people wanting results. That is what people should be doing. You should be playing like this because it does guarantee those results. And do you know what? Hopefully it changes next year. Now, in terms of the actual overall team instructions, we are going to go to positive. We are going to have this set to fairly wide, play out from the back, play for set pieces, time wasting. Again, we are trying to seal a game out here. If you are playing as a whole season, you would not have time wasted on. So I'm going to take it off for that sort of purpose of the video. If you are trying to purposely to switch to this to defend the game out with, then you would also have time wasting on. The passing goes down to much shorter, the tempo goes up by 1, 2 slightly higher, and whatever scenario you're in, low crosses and also play for set pieces, because my set pieces probably generate me an easy 20 goals a season extra across the entire back line and other players that chip in, so make sure you are following those very, very closely. In transition, we're going to counter press, get the ball in our control and then hold the shape. We control the game, slow the pace down, play to the centre backs while taking short goal kicks. And lastly, let me have a quick look. We are going to go with out of possession to the standard line with the high press much more often and simply get stuck in with prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And that's going to give you, boys and girls, not 1, not 2, but 3 versions of the ultimate 3-5-2, a tactic that I have released already this year, but I have made some minor changes, and a lot of it is done in how attacking the tactic is. The previous version was a bit too reserved in my opinion, so this one is very, very attacking, a lot of fun. But of course, you're playing as a small team, play with this. If you're trying to chase goals, switch to this. Just make sure you've got all 3 available. No, it doesn't mean you've got to go over to the Patreon. You can copy the videos click for click. I would never make it so you're forced to do that, because I think that is a bit wrong. But genuinely, you can go over, get all 3 of these, and it will save you time. But of course, you can copy click for click. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, I'll be seeing you in the next one.